welcome back. Today I'm showing you how to prepare the Aragonese pumpkin pie. As you see, it's a very thin and crispy pie. It's not like the classic one you maybe know from America, but it's typical from Aragon in the north of Spain. Of course, you need pumpkin, one orange for providing flavor to the liquids, for the filling some raisins, some anise seeds, almonds or walnuts, whatever you prefer, cinnamon, honey, flour of course, sugar and olive oil. First, start combining your water with the olive oil, the anise seeds. If you don't like them, you can skip those. And then cut the orange in 4 pieces, so it will provide a nice flavor to the liquids, and then bring it to a boil and cook it for 5 to 10 minutes. This way your liquids will be flavored with the orange and the anise. Now remove the orange pieces and just pour them directly all at once into your flour. That's important. Now start combining. Be careful not to burn yourself. It's important to do it while the liquid is almost boiling. Yeah, this is the secret of the dough. And start combining until no more visible flour remains in your dough. It will take maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And once you can handle it, start combining with your hands until it's well combined. You don't need to work the dough too much. Now set aside and start cutting your pumpkin. I think you call it squash, right? So this is the type of squash or pumpkin we use here. Of course you can use another type, the one you have available. So retrieve a couple of pieces like you see here, and now you need to slice them in very thin pieces. I used a mandolin, but you can do it with your knife. The secret is to retrieve very similar and homogeneous pieces, thin anyway. Now let's start rolling our dough. As you see here, I started on my surface, but then I realized it was a better idea to work on my baking paper. This way you don't need to move the dough anymore, and it's easier to handle. So now you need to make it as thin as possible, and the idea is to cover the whole piece of paper or the whole area of your tray. Okay, now do the same with the second part, because of course we need one part for the top, one part for the bottom. So we divided our dough in 2 pieces, and as you see here, I covered most of the paper. Now with the bottom, sprinkle on some sugar. I recommend you to put more than the amount you expect to be enough, because pumpkin or squash is not so flavorful, and you need some sweetener, and the dough is not sweetened, so you need it. Put some cinnamon on top, and now you can start adding your olive oil, not too much, just a little bit. And now display your pumpkin or squash pieces. The idea is to cover the whole area with 1 or 2 layers. Done. Now add the rest of the ingredients, namely the raisins, the sliced almonds, or if you prefer pine seeds, that's also traditional. Walnuts you can also add, a little bit of olive oil on top, more cinnamon if you like, more sugar, so the filling actually depends on your taste, but this is the classic way of doing it. And now you are ready to put on top the second part of the dough. And now start sailing them, oh, how to pronounce it. Anyway, you need to close the dough so the interior will cook evenly, as you see here. Sprinkle some cinnamon and sugar on top, along with a little bit of olive oil. And finally make some holes with the help of a knife so the steam can go out of the dough, otherwise it might be inflated too much. And now put it in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes or until it's golden brown. That's important. First at 180 degrees and then 220. And once it looks completely delightful and golden brown, your pumpkin pie is done. Leave it cool down and enjoy with friends or family. I hope you can try this out and see you soon.